Good evening, America. I'm Kelly Calvo.
And I'm Raul Camarena. You're watching High School Vice News with tradition of Breaking Down the Wall.
June 16, 2015 became the start of a necessary shift from considering our presidential candidates to taking a stand for our constitutional rights.
I am officially running for President of the United States, and we are going to make our country great again.
Since his presidential candidacy announcement, Donald Trump has dominated the polls and has gotten the attention of all the American people, not because of his political views, but from his abrasive accusations. The Mexican and Mexican-American people have gotten excessive attention from Trump, the man who wants to run our country. By lumping all Mexican-American immigrants into one general group, Trump has led many to believe the worst about a hard-working sector of our country.
They're bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, and some, I assume, are good people. But I speak to border guards, and they tell us what we're getting.
Adriana Almanza is a young woman who works in missions at Grand Valley State University in Michigan. She credits her father for making sure that she could obtain her bachelor's and master's degree. Shortly after Trump's speech, Almanza took to Facebook and wrote him an open letter.
Dear Mr. Donald Trump, I'd like to take a minute to introduce you to my father, Raul Almanza. As you so eloquently put it, he is one of the many that Mexico sends to this country.
She goes on to explain how 30 or so years ago, Mexico sent her father to the United States and that he could come here as an undocumented individual.
My dad has worked 5 to 6 days a week since I was a child, and I've never heard him complain about it one time. He doesn't drink, he doesn't use drugs. He is certainly not a criminal, rapist, or drug trafficker, as your speech suggested. Perhaps you should get to know more people like my dad. There are millions just like him. Then you'd see for yourself. And instead of bashing Mexico, you'd thank Mexico for sending us their best.
As powerful as Almanza's letter is, Trump's words appear to be even more powerful in leading in fostering a new breed of hatred and prejudice in our country. For more on this issue, we go to Crystal.
Thank you, Kelly. The racism that Trump has proposed with such pride has brought out the very worst in many American people. What Trump is saying about the Mexican people is indirectly altering the mindset of not only middle-aged Americans, but the mindset of the younger generation as well. Trump's comments are adding fuel to the fire of hatred towards those who are not white Americans. His rallies are becoming safe havens for racism, anger, and hatred. Such was the case at a Trump rally in Miami on October 23, 2015. Ariel Rojas was one of the 8 student protesters from Florida International University. Rojas was forcibly dragged to the ground by his collar and then kicked as rally-goers chanted, "USA!" During the speech, Trump acknowledged the protesters and encouraged people to remove Rojas and the rest of the protesters out of the rally. These reactions to peaceful protesters are staged and supported by the Trump campaign. Before Trump arrives on stage to speak at a rally or town hall meeting, announcements are made on how Trump supporters should respond to any possible protesters. Such was the case when some of our reporters attended the Trump town hall meeting at the Iowa State Fairgrounds in December. Trump supporters followed the directions at one point and started shouting, "Trump, Trump," and "USA, USA." When a man tried to ask a question about immigration, during the chanting and uproar, the man was quickly escorted out of the event. For High School Vice News, I'm Crystal Velasquez. Back to you in the studio.
Trump's dramatic remarks and accusations about non-white Americans impact all Mexican Americans, even those who are hardworking, law-abiding citizens. Trump is creating a stereotypical image that many of his followers believe to be true. He has even gone as far as saying he wants to deport each and every Mexican. For more on this, we go to Jorge.
Thank you, Raul. Trump has stated that he will deport all 11 million Mexican immigrants, but some would ask, how is it possible for someone to deport 11 million Mexicans? A mass deportation has happened before. In the 1930s and into the 1940s, up to 2 million Mexicans and Mexican Americans were deported from cities and towns across the United States. Some estimates show that more than half of these people were native-born U.S. citizens. Former President Herbert Hoover staged a mass deportation, calling it a repatriation campaign. Raids were held in workplaces and public places, rounding up Mexicans and Mexican Americans and deporting them back. The Mexican people never had it easy due to various government factions, the lack of food, gang activity, and excessive drug distribution within our homeland. We, the Mexican people, have endured such hardships, and we look to America as an escape from the problems Mexico is facing. America was once the land of the free, but slowly it is becoming the land of bigotry, and maybe one day no safer than the country our parents and grandparents chose to move from. For High School Vice News, I'm Jorge Ramirez. Back to you in the studio.
Thank you, Jorge. We'll be right back after this commercial break.
To make the U.S. great again, I will build a wall. A great wall. The American Great Wall. I could do whatever I wanted.
You're acting like Donald Trump. Here, have a Snickers. Better?
Better. I will not build a wall.
You're not you when you're hungry. Snickers satisfies.
Welcome back to High School Vice News and this edition of Breaking Down the Wall. White supremacy is becoming a major issue in the United States. What we once thought was erased from our country's history was only hidden from the public's eye. However, Trump's racial slurs have brought these issues to a national scale. His comments have belittled and ridiculed Mexicans, and his racist remarks are starting to become ingrained into the minds of young Americans.
This has caused a spike in the racist attitudes and the white superiority within our country. Trump's hatred is slowly bringing out the worst in America. The once beautiful land of opportunities is slowly becoming the land of bigotry and inequality. Even with the radical comments Trump has made, he is still managing to lead the Republican polls. He currently sits by average 14 points ahead of the next Republican candidate, and the number only seems to be growing.
If there is a positive side towards Trump's repeated attacks toward Mexicans in the United States, it might just come in the actions that many Mexican-American groups are taking. We, the High School Vice News production team, have begun presenting regular news programs aimed at taking a positive stand against hate and discrimination in our country. We are not alone. Other Latino youth programs have channeled their passions of heritage, family members, and personal pride of being Mexican-Americans. An organization in central Iowa, Al Éxito, is working with Mexican-Americans youth to embrace their culture, to learn more about the cultural issues, and to speak out against negativity that has been spread since the beginning of Donald Trump's campaign. Here is their message.
We are Latinos.
Somos Latinos.
Between two cultures.
Entre dos culturas.
We are Iowans even if we were not born here. This is our home. Our families have gone through many challenges and they have given us strength to overcome our own. We are hard workers. We are intelligent. We are open-minded. We are strong. We are students who will succeed. We are leaders. We are the future of Des Moines, of Iowa, of the United States, of the world.
So what does America's future hold? That is up to the American people to decide. Whether it may be white, black, Hispanic, Native American, Christian, or Muslim. Our country was not founded on hatred, bigotry, or prejudice. As Paul Quadros said, being an American is so much more than having citizenship. It is that beat in your heart to be free, to be your own man, to have control over your own destiny. America has always been an idea. It has nothing to do with papers, documents, or immigration laws. It has a lot to do with ideals and dreams. Our country was founded to instill freedoms for all people who call America home. Let us continue to be the land of opportunity.
We must work together and find solutions together and refuse to let bullies that rant the same derogatory remarks over and over define who we are. We need to break down the walls that have been built from past discrimination and continue to work for a brighter America that includes and embraces all. For High School Vice News, I'm Kelly Calvo.
And I'm Raul Camarena, taking a stand for all of America. Thank you for watching. Good night y buenas noches.